Hello everyone. I think I'm live. We'll see what happens here. Yeah, I'm gonna wait a little bit because I started it a little early because I was a teeny tiny bit stressed out about whether I could actually go live or not with the way I set it up. Please let me know if you can hear me, if you're here. I need a separate keyboard. Hey Els, I hope you can hear me. Yeah, I have my little hot foil machine heating up, and awesome. Thank you for letting me know. Okay. I hope I didn't forget anything. I prepared a little bit. Mostly this live stream is to see if I can actually handle this software because it's a little tricky for me. I'm not techie enough. So yeah, let's see that I don't click anything wrong. But I should be able to switch to this, and I hope you can still hear me as well. My camera isn't set up right, so I'm gonna shift it a little bit here. Yeah, hello Laura, so nice to have you. I am going to be creating some Halloween cards with some beautiful Spellbinders products. This is the Happy Hour collection. There are some gorgeous dies here. We have a little martini glass, a different cocktail glass, which you can create a sunset in, so it's perfect for summer as well. And then there are a bunch of Halloween accessories, so I'm gonna have a lot of fun with those. Yeah, my hot foil machine is just ready, so let's get started on those sentiments. I was hoping I could prep them still while I was, waiting for the stream to start. But then suddenly I tried to start the stream, just see how that would work. And I thought I'd done it all wrong, so I started a little early. So these are some beautiful sentiments. It is called the Cheers Sentiments Press Plate. There are, how many sentiments are there? I think 12 sentiments, all on one plate, and there is a coordinating die as well that will cut them all out. So let's get started with that. We are going to do some other hot foiling as well with press plates. So I had to use my hot foiling machine anyway. Some black cardstock. Yes, an espresso martini. I'm not a big fan of alcoholic drinks, but I could use one right now. I'm very stressed out that something will go wrong. I love live streaming. I tried it. I did it quite a bit on Instagram, but I didn't like Instagram's platform for live streaming. And then I tried it on YouTube once a few years ago. That is too small. Of course it is. And it just wasn't good quality for my phone. So we're trying again today, and I hope it works out because I love live streaming. It's a great way to connect with everyone. But yeah, the tech stuff isn't my forte. How are you guys? Thanks, that's so sweet, Els and everyone else. I was honestly also worried that no one would show up. That was my second worry. It's not that big of a deal on YouTube because the stream is saved anyway. So everyone can watch the replay, or I hope I set that up correctly. Ooh, it's thundering. Perfect for my Halloween cards. What was I saying? I forgot. Oh yeah, that it's not that big of a deal if no one shows up because you can watch the replay and it's not like wasted time on my part. but it is a little bit weird just talking to yourself while you're crafting. Yeah, you're sweet, Els, but it's gonna be pretty late by the time I'm done here, so I hope you... Is this my sister in disguise? That's very... Okay, that is a big surprise. So I have the press plate here heating up. And I am going to cover that with this while we chat, because I love foiling with the press plates. They foil beautifully, but with my machine, I do like to heat them up a little bit longer than the foil plates. So even though that light is going to stop blinking in a minute, I'm gonna keep this on there for a second. Now, I do want to show you this here while we wait a little bit longer. These are the craft stacks from Spellbinders. I actually forgot to put those in the description. Should have remembered, but I really like these. They stack nicely. You can even just use this as a tray as well. Like there's a little bit of space on the lid, so you could use that as an extra box here. But it's great if you're making tons of cards and preparing all those tiny die cuts like I did. So this is a sneak peek what we're gonna make today. I hope I can do all three, but maybe 3 is a little bit ambitious. Finishing 3 cards, you know, not sure if that's gonna work out, but we'll see. Better have too much prepared than too little, right? Oh, those boxes are great. So this is just a medium set. But there is a mixed set as well with mixed sizes. I'm gonna put that right back in because we're gonna foil a background in a second as well. So this is just silver foil on black cardstock. Let's see if it foiled nicely, because you know, sometimes foiling doesn't work out. I hope it does on the live stream, but you know, might not. It worked perfectly, yay! If you have the solid hot foil plate from Pinkfresh Studio, you can save the leftover foil as well, and you can get all those silver sentiments with, I don't know, a black or a silver background and a black sentiment if you foil it on black paper. But I like doing this. I like the just foiled letters. I don't usually save my leftover foils. I'm going to, while the hot foil or the Glimmer machine is hot, I am going to foil that background. And it is such a fun background. It's actually probably my favorite part of this happy hour collection. Because, is this scrolling or not? Yeah, it is. Cool. Where did I put it? Because it's really versatile. I think it would be great for New Year's cards as well. I mean, most of these glasses can be great for birthdays and New Year's. But this background plate is so fun with all the little glasses on there. There is a coordinating stencil set. You can only get the stencil set in the bundle. So you can buy the press plate by itself, but if you want the stencil set, you have to buy both the stencil set and the press plate, if that makes sense. I think I linked both options in the description. I am going to foil this, also with silver, I think, maybe a matte silver. Onto some Nina Solar White. Is this gonna work out? Yeah, that'll be fine. Cool. That's a dirty little piece of paper, but it's fine. Yeah, but I love the craft stacks as as a way to stay organized while crafting, especially if you make a lot of die cut cards. It's perfect. I am going to use this matte silver, I think. What's it actually called? It's satin pewter. Or holographic. What do you think? There's too much lag here. I can probably not wait for a response if I want to keep this interesting. But yeah, the holographic doesn't really show up nicely on white. So that's that decision made for us. We're gonna go with the pewter. So I really like that holographic silver. I think it's called Prism. But yeah, it's not super clear on white cardstock. And I want to do some ink blending over these glasses, so we're gonna stay on white cardstock today. For this card anyway. And now the piece is way too big. I never cut my foils the right size. Is that just me? Yeah, the matte foils are perfect. And they're so much easier to photograph, which, you know, is usually a pain with shiny things. Now it's too narrow, I think. So dumb. It'll work out. Cool. Okay. I'm gonna tape that a little bit on the back, just so nothing shifts. You don't actually have to tape everything together while you're foiling, but I like doing it anyway because I feel like everything would shift otherwise. Yeah, that's definitely true, Else. So some foils, every foil behaves slightly differently, which is just really annoying, honestly. I think we can all agree that all foils should foil the same, but they just don't. Especially the colored foils, like, I mean, I don't know by heart which ones foil, but actually the colors, not just the usual metallics, some of them are really, really fussy. Don't know why. But you can figure out the behavior of each foil, like if it needs a little bit more heat or if it needs a little bit more pressure in your die cutting machine, just by trial and error. It's all just paper and foil is pretty inexpensive too, so it's not too much of an issue if you have to try a little bit to get it right. Hoping to get this a little bit centered. This would have been easier on a larger piece of cardstock, but we're doing this now. Or maybe I'm gonna bail on this and actually put it on a larger piece of cardstock. Yes, that's what we're doing. Because I'm never gonna get it centered on this. But yes, sorry about that. Some foils definitely foil easier than the others. The regular metallics foil perfectly fine, and I found that the satin foils work really well as well. So, you know, your basics are always going to be good. This is the Guillotine trimmer from Spellbinders. I love me a Guillotine trimmer. It's always straight. It just works really nicely. But yes, a larger piece of cardstock is going to help me out a ton. I can trim it out later. I hope the foil isn't ruined at this point. We'll see. Just tape that down a little bit. And now if we're going to trim it out anyway, it doesn't actually matter that much how centered this is. I should have taken a larger piece of cardstock from the start. That would have helped me out. Yes, some cardstocks don't foil as nicely. In fact, Nina is going to be a little bit tricky, but I love the white so much. Nina Solar White is a really nice warm eggshell white, really. So we're going to try, and if it doesn't foil perfectly, well, it's just the background. Again, I am going to put my plates on top if I can still find them. Well, glad that that hasn't changed. When I did Instagram lives, my craft room was a mess afterwards. So for the plates, if you're new to foiling, the green one always goes on the bottom because this one is actually heat resistant. The clear one isn't, that's really just a shim. So yeah, there is an order to the plates. Let me clean up a little bit here. And the cardstocks, the smoother the cardstock in general, the smoother the cardstock, the easier it foils. So that's a good thing to keep in mind. If you're in Europe, Clairefontaine cardstock foils perfectly. You don't want it to be too thick, especially if you're foiling with actual hot foil plates. The press plates are just a tiny bit thinner, so they're a little bit more forgiving with the cardstock. And if you're wanting to foil on colored cardstock, Concord 9th foils really nicely. Concord 9th cardstock, which is actually what this black is from. They have a really nice intense black. So that is taped up for just a second. I'm gonna put these foils away. I don't think I'm gonna be doing much more foiling after this because it does take a while and I know it's not super interesting to watch. Concord really has really nice colors. They have a really unique color palette. And I like that their color palette isn't too expensive, so there's not too many colors in their collection. 48 is a really nice number. For to collect anyway. Let's see if this foiled nicely or not. Ooh, that's hot. I haven't actually tried any Spellbinders colored cardstock, but Spellbinders does have specialty Glimmer cardstock. I think they only have it in white, but it's almost like photo paper. It's that glossy. It's not actually photo paper. Photo paper would melt on your hot foil machine. A little bit of overfoiling, but that's easy enough to fix. The photo paper would melt, but the Spellbinders Glimmer has like a really glossy finish. A specialty Glimmer cardstock has a really glossy finish, and it's pretty unique. I don't have it, but someone made me a card with it, so that's how I know it. It was a really nice card. So if you have overfoiling, like I do here, this is probably from too much pressure because this is really thick cardstock. It could also be overheating, and the way you tell the difference is how easily you can get rid of it. So the Yupo, yeah, I think it's similar, but again, Yupo paper would melt on the Glimmer machine. It's plastic, it's not actually paper. So yeah, the way you can tell what your issue is with foiling is how easy you get rid of the overfoiling. Let me see. This should have a clean corner somewhere. So I like to just try to rub it away with cloth. usually I use my clothes, but I have short sleeves on right now, so that's not gonna work. But if you can easily rub it away with cloth, anything that has a little bit of texture to it, it was really just too much heat, or you left the plate on a little bit too long, or let your machine heat up a little bit too long, which happens with some foils. If it is a little bit harder to get rid of the overfoiling, it's too much pressure. So your paper is too thick, or your die cutting machine is too tight, which you can't really fix, so you're screwed. Sorry. But yeah, this is overall pretty easy to fix. Just some circles. It's also, this is a very detailed plate. Is the camera really shaking really badly? I mean, yeah, that's gonna happen. I have no fixes for that. But you can, like in these spots, are they actually showing up? So these little spots here, I am just going to use a sanding eraser to get rid of those. It's also just because it's on Neenah Solar White and not any cardstock that is actually good for hot foiling. But I am too obsessed with using the Neenah Solar White. It's too nice. I'm trying to not make a mess because in the end, I can never find anything. So to fix this, where is my sand eraser? I put it in its place, which is not like me. So this is a very abrasive eraser. It literally sands away your paper, your cardstock. So it can get rid of foil very easily. Except some foils, it doesn't happen a lot, but I have had it happen with like black foil, that you leave streaks of black if you erase over it. But then you can also erase that again with this sand eraser. It's really good for ink spots and things like that. It's a little bit hit there as well. Okay, cool. That's done. I am, going to put this away already. And then we're gonna start ink blending. So it's a really easy stencil over this. I think I'm just gonna use green. I'm in a Beetlejuice color mode. I've seen so many ads for the new Beetlejuice movie. I haven't actually seen the movie yet, but I am curious. But yeah, you'll see that I'm in a Beetlejuice color scheme mode today. So this is the stencil set. It's really just one stencil, not a layering stencil, and it really only fills in the drinks for the glasses. So I am going to put this on a laminated sheet of white cardstock. Probably the most frequently used tool in my craft room is just a shiny piece of white cardstock. It's really great for ink blending because it's a non-porous surface or a slick surface. So you can really easily pick up your ink again. It's just really nice. I have tons of sheets of laminated white cardstock laying around here. I'm gonna tape that in place as well. I'm just using some purple tape. Any low-tech tape will do. And this is not a stencil that has to be lined up perfectly, which is great because the only thing I'm really bad at in crafting is lining things up. Coordinating dyes are my worst nightmare. Which ink do we want to use? I think I'm gonna go for the Pinkfresh inks. This is the super nice Pinkfresh ink ink cube storage thing. I really like this because there is not a ton of ink cube storage options out there. I do prefer a tray, but I can't really get them in Europe. I do think this is overpriced for what it is, but it is nice. It's nice. It looks nice in your craft room as well. So yeah, I'm actually going to get another green as well. And you do need to make sure when you use this that you're closing the clasp, otherwise all the ink cubes are gonna fall out when you open it again. Ask me how I know. It is pink, so it's worth the money. I feel ya, Els. So I like working with two shades. I'm really just going to use green here. You could block them all off, mask some off, or work with really small blending brushes. If you want to give them all different colors, I think that would be really fun for a birthday card or New Year's, but we're keeping things Halloween. So this is my favorite green ink, and I should have added it to the supply list because I knew I was going to use this. But then it would have been the only ink because I don't really know which other inks I'm going to use. This is Grassy Knoll from Pinkfresh Studio. It is such a nice, vibrant green. I love it. Now with, I'm really just putting a somewhat even layer on all of these glasses at this point. When you're working with dye inks, which is most inks, you want to blend a little bit darker than you want the end result to be because it is going to dry back. The color is going to sink into the paper, and it's not going to be as dark once it is completely dry. So I always forget this, and I'm trying to remind myself to do that a little bit more. I made a really nice fall card the other day. I'll show you in a second if you want to see. And once I was done blending, the oranges were so vibrant and a little bit darker in places, and it dried back in the end, and I was a little disappointed. It still looks nice, but still. Oh yeah. Yeah, postage is going to be insane if you want to get nice ink cube storage from the States. So now I'm being a little bit more careful here with my blending. I'm not being too purposeful. This is the olive green from Pinkfresh, and I'm just going to add little dabs of a darker shade to these glasses. And that looks really nice with that pewter ink. Because the pewter is, the pewter foil, sorry. Because the pewter is also, I love satin foils anyway, but this is such a nice warm silver. It's beautiful. I don't use it enough actually. I don't use silver a lot in my card making. We're gonna use it a lot today, but usually I don't. Nearly done here. Yes, I do want it to look like poison. A lot of the drinks are gonna look poisonous today. It's Halloween, right? Has to be a little bit spooky. So my ink blending looks super dramatic now. It is going to look a little bit less dramatic once it's done drying, but I do really like this background. It's perfect. And don't worry about that, we're gonna trim this out anyway. That looks fabulous. Thanks, guys. I should stop zipping this up because I'm sure the noise is really annoying, and I am probably gonna use more of these inks today. Okay, let's clean this for the next round of blending in a second. How bad does the desk shake when I'm blending? So let's trim this out. I have this nesting die set from Spellbinders, which will work nicely. I didn't plan on using nesting die, so this is also not in the supply list. It's called Perfect Touch Rectangles and Tag, so it does include a little tag die as well. But it has this really fun detail all around the edges. The face camera is worse. Yeah, probably. So we're gonna line this up as good as I can get it, which isn't gonna be great. Okay, good to know. Not much I can do about that probably, because it's just my laptop. I can't really secure the webcam. But yeah, I'll try to figure something out by next time I do this. Is this straight, or are the glasses wibbly wobbly? Because the glasses don't seem to follow a line either, which is very unhelpful. It's a Halloween card. Who cares about straight? I do, but I'm gonna pretend I don't. I'm gonna roll this through my die cutting machine together with the sentiments from earlier, because I still haven't cut those out yet. And this is why I like the Platinum 8 die cutting machine. It is huge. I can cut so many things at once. Look at this beautiful little background. I love that detail around the edges. That's a good point, Laura. If we're drinking poison, nothing is gonna look straight. So we can put this away. I always love a nesting die, especially rectangles, with just a fun little detail around the edges. It's a really nice way to frame a card. Now the sentiments are looking pretty cool. Let's see. I want to use that one, definitely. Let your spirits shine. Drink Up Witches is a really good one too. Just here for the booze. I think that's gonna be it. I might add these to something as well. I'm gonna die cut this one more time so we can layer up the sentiments. And have them look nice and propped up. Probably should have prepped this in some way, but I have everything else die cut. Hopefully. And now to find which one goes with which. Which. We're just gonna look for these and I'll put the rest to the side for me to use later. Drink Up Witches. How is everyone's weekend going? That's not gonna fit anything. I mean, the weekend is over, which is a very depressing thought. We've almost got them. Yes. Gonna put these aside for later. Let's put this away. We're staying organized. My goal this life is to stay organized and to not have technology fail me. Which I probably have very little say in at this point. I'm surprised I got the stream started, to be honest. I think if you go to my channel now, there are 3 live streams planned. So I hope everyone ends up at the right one. Usually I would actually cut 2 layers of white cardstock because I like overkill like that. But we'll work with some foam tape today. Ooh, you're crafting along. Prepping some sentiments is always a good use of your time in the craft room. That sounds like what I do, Laura. Just doing some die cutting and then hoping it all works out with what I have in the end. For videos, I can be very organized and plan things out meticulously when I get crafting. But anytime I'm not filming, it's a mess. And I just die cut a bunch of stuff. I don't end up using half of it. And then I have to store those die cuts somewhere because you spend so much time die cutting them and so much paper. So but especially for Christmas cards, it's pretty nice to have everything die cut out so you can just sit down and make a bunch at once. Okay, we've got the sentiments, we've got the background. It's time to put this together. My first little craft stacks box for today. So I'm gonna start with these little ghosties. I am gonna add some ink blending to them as well. Yeah, let's put all of these little die cuts together. So the die set I have used for this is this one. It's called Halloween Wonder. It is actually an add-on die set for the Envelope of Wonder die set, which I have somewhere, but I'm not gonna pull it out now. It's just a huge envelope. You can't actually fit an A2 size card in it, but it's an envelope you can put on a card and have a bunch of elements come out of it. I really like the Halloween add-on because you get a bunch of icons. For these add-on dies, I usually just buy the add-ons because a huge envelope I'm probably not going to use. And there is a really nice fall add-on set as well, which has beautiful little mushrooms. This is the Barely Art Precision Craft Glue. I really like this. I used to talk bad about it, and I should apologize. Well, no, maybe a little bit. They should also apologize. No, they should add to their bottle that you should shake before use. And I didn't know that. A crafty friend pointed it out to me after she heard me complaining about it in a video. And I'm very happy she did. But yeah, my previous bottle was very, very runny and very liquidy. So Spellbinders carries the glue, scrapbook.com carries the glue. In Europe, you can find it at Duoding in the Netherlands. And I don't know if I've seen it in another place in Europe. You could check Cloud9 Crafts as well. But yeah. I always layer up my die cuts because especially if I'm gonna add ink blending to them, it's just easier to handle them. They're less frail when they're stacked up. And I also just like the look of a thicker die cut. But yeah, I really like the Barely Arts glue now. I used to complain that it didn't hold my gems in place. But again, that's because my bottle was very, very runny, liquidy. And I just had to shake it up or mix it up a little bit, and that fixed it. So I'm very happy with it now. I love the little bats in this set as well, because you can cut a separate body. So I cut it from some black glitter cardstock. Don't know if you could see the eyes now, so I might add a little bit of white gel pen, although I don't know where my white gel pen is, so might do that after the live. I'm not seeing these black die cuts on my black background. I had to change my my cutting mat for this live. So, well, I had to change it. I turned it over. So this is the underside of it. I have a grid on it, but there's also a bunch of dots on the cutting mat. And it always freaks my camera out a little bit. My camera doesn't really know what to do with the dots. Does it have to focus on it? Does it not have to focus on it? But usually when I'm just filming the videos, I can manually focus the camera really easily. For the live, it was just going crazy. So I had to turn it over. I'm already missing the grid, to be honest. So this is just a little banner that one of the ghosts can hold. And it says boo. There's not a whole bunch of space where you can glue it down, because the letters are open. I'm just putting teeny tiny dots in some places. That is a little bit too much. So yeah, you can buy the glue in Duoding in the Netherlands, which is a pretty nice store. I really like it. It's also one of the very few stores that still has a physical storefront that you can actually visit. Not that I've been there, but you could. I think Janas Makula is giving a demonstration there next weekend, I think. So these are my little elements. There's also a frame. We'll get to that in a second. I'm gonna put this to the side, and I'm gonna do some more ink blending. This is my less nice storage for my Concord 9 things. Yes, it's just a cut-up box, but it works perfectly. I'm gonna use the sea glass ink, which is my favorite ink to use on ghosts. What a sentence. Right, the bunting is so cute. So, take some green here, put these to the side. I really like shading my ghosts with like a minty green, but slightly more blue than that. So the sea glass is perfect. Yeah. It looks really spooky. Just a little hint of shading. Face cam is looking all right now. I'll just be a little bit more careful with my blending. Whoops. Nice. I don't think I'm gonna shade the banner, so we'll leave it at that. Clean that off a little bit. Great. I I do need to fill in the little eyes here. I am just going to use some black cardstock again. And put a little piece behind the eyes and the little mouth. So let's see here. Is that too big? It probably is. Yeah. Way too big. That works better. Okay. So if I want to glue something behind eyes to fill them in, I always just trace the glue on the back side of the die with the eye holes. Another fantastic sentence. Because it's much easier if you don't have to eyeball where you need to put the glue on the black piece of cardstock so that it doesn't show. This is also too big. Still too big. Cool. Two little ghosties, a banner, and a bat. Got my little card here. I do also have a frame. I'm not sure. I think it's too big. Should have cut a smaller frame. But it does split in two. So I might still use a smaller frame of these. This is from a Pinkfresh Studios die set. This one is linked in the description. It is, I love the Pinkfresh frame dies. They have really fun, unique frames. I like them. Yeah, not sure if I like it with this card though. This is the Ornate rectangle frame die set. It's really fun. Should have cut a smaller frame. Damn it. And I really want a frame. Okay, we're gonna find a frame to add to this because I want one. I love a good frame. It really changes up card a bunch. Maybe some of these. Yeah. And I wanted to add purple to it. The frame was gonna be purple. There is a smaller frame in this die set, which I think would actually be perfect. Why am I still looking for something? Okay, cool. So we're gonna die cut this a couple times. Okay. I didn't want to be die cutting a ton on the live because I know it's not interesting. But here I am. Here we go. One more white one. I could just leave out the frame and finish the card later, but when I'm doing a live, I still want to make a decent card. have to admit, else, I don't remember what my last video was. Was it the one with the poppies? Which frames did I use in that? I think I just, the arch frame? Maybe? I forgot which one I used. Yeah, that could work. But I really like this style for Halloween. It's like sort of gothic looking. Oh, it's Scarecrow. Yeah, that's a good point. That could also work. It is this die set. It is a little bit smaller, that frame. So it would be this frame. That would be too small for this one. This is a very strange frame die set, by the way. I think it's more for scrapbooking, maybe. But look at how large that frame is, because this is an A2 size panel. Insane. This is the Cameo Frames die from, Cameo Frames die set from Spellbinders. They're nice frames. I really like an ornate frame, but the size isn't gonna work out for this one. Now the purple cardstock, did I put that away? No, good. Oops, that's not it. Here it is. One more time die cutting, and then we'll get back to the actual craft. Sorry about this. Should have planned it a little bit better. So for frames, I always like to cut 2 layers of white cardstock because usually a frame is pretty thin, as is the case here. So it's a lot more stable when it has a couple layers behind it. I'm gonna, because there are a few little ornate pieces here, I'm gonna push those out. I can't actually see it with the glitter, where the cut lines are. This is just a little pick tool. I actually should be using this one because that's the one I linked from Pinkfresh. Do we want the full frame? I think it's pretty nice. I don't think it's too thick. Okay, we're gonna do the full frame. That means I do have to push these out as well. I hope they all cut nicely. Yes, full. Very happy you agree, because there is a bit of a lag here. So I could have already glued it together by the time you agreed, or by the time I saw that you agreed. Cool, 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 cool. could also, I'm not gonna do it now because I've spent too much time die cutting already, but because this is a split frame, you could also cut one piece from just a regular purple cardstock and have one frame glitter. Now I want to do it. I'm not gonna do more die cutting. Oh, thanks for watching, Laura. I'm very happy I wasn't alone here, so I really appreciate you showing up. Am I going to die cut another frame? I might as well, right? It's gonna look nice, I think. Do I have the purple cardstock that I would want to use for it here? Yes. No. It doesn't work nicely with that purple. Maybe. Maybe. Yes, do it. Cool. We're doing it. This is going to be such a long live. I like watching long lives though. It's fun to put on while you're crafting, in my opinion. I think this was very badly planned on my part though. Not just like the frames that I didn't cut. But the timing of it, I'm pretty sure that Amy from Prairie Paper and Ink is also live at this point. And, you know, not to be self-deprecating, but I would also choose to watch her over me. She probably has things planned out a little bit better. I think I want to do the, let's see here. Which one I want to do glitter and which one. The inside. No, the outside. Okay. More of these little cutout pieces. What are they called again? Eyelets? Is that what that's called? Not sure. Someone at Pinkfresh knows it. So I might also start doing these lives on the Alex Siberia Designs YouTube channel. We're not entirely sure about that yet because this is the first live I'm doing, so let's see how this one goes first. Thingies. Yes, the little things you cut out are the thingies. You're right, Els. Eyelets. Who needs a fancy name for them? They're called thingies. But yes, if this works out, and I don't mean like if this life is successful, I just mean that if it works out with all the technology stuff, the software that I'm still very unfamiliar with, then I might start doing them on the Alex Siberia Designs YouTube channel, because I love Alex Siberia Design stuff, and I also love lives. I just love doing them. I love watching them when other crafters are doing live streams. So yeah, I think it's nice. Don't know why I started putting glue on the back of this. That's so much more difficult, but okay. We're going with it now. Most of the colored cardstock I'm using today is also from Concord 9th. Not all of it, but most. This is grape soda, I believe. I will check my label in a second. It's one of the nicer purples. Purple craft supplies are so hard to find. I mean, they're out there, obviously, but like a nice colored purple is so difficult sometimes. I'm just going around the edges to like get the little die cut hairs because I hate those. They never look good on a card. Okay, one more layer to this frame. This frame is seriously overkill. But it's gonna be so good. I don't think we're gonna be making 3 cards tonight. I think I'll stick with 2 probably. Nice. A fun little frame, Beetlejuice colors, some ghosts, drinks. Perfect Halloween card. I'm gonna put this on the ghost. And I'm only going to add glue to the top of the banner pieces. So maybe I can zhuzh them up a little bit later. Well, if it actually stays glued down, we can do that. So just fold them up a little bit or curl them up a little bit. That's going to add some fun movement to the card. Oh, thank you, Penelope. I'm very happy to have you here as well. This is fun. Does this need a sentiment? Maybe. Just here for the booze. It's too perfect not to, right? It's too perfect not to. Okay, we're gonna put this on a card. I have some pre-scored cards. I mean, I scored them myself, but they're pre-folded. Just A2 size, cheap, sturdy white cardstock. Please don't ask me which cardstock because I don't know. It's cheap office supply cardstock really, but 300 DSM, so pretty nice. And I don't use it for anything but card bases and like the white layers for my die cutting. I love this background. So nice. Gonna glue the frame straight down because it's plenty thick at this point. There's 4 layers to it. But obviously it needed all 4 layers. There was no other way around it. I've been watching The Bear, the TV show about that restaurant. Yes, I'm very late to the game, but Jesus, it's so good. I'm loving it. I watched season 1 all yesterday. Did some crocheting and some crafting while I watched that show. It was a great time. Yes, chef. Hurt. So good. I'm almost finished with season 2 at this point. I started watching yesterday. Oops. Foam tape. So, I'm honestly surprised how few questions I get about my foam tape in my videos. This is my foam tape. I use just regular foam tape. I do get really cheap one from Action. If you're in Europe, you probably know that store. It has foam tape, if you didn't know. It's pretty nice foam tape. But they used to carry foam squares as well, and they stopped selling them. And at that point, I stopped buying foam squares. So what I do instead is I put my foam tape on baking paper or parchment paper so that I have release paper on both sides of the foam tape, because this still has the release paper on it, obviously. And this way I can cut it without clogging up my scissors. So I cut pieces of foam tape however large I need them to be. It is cheaper than just buying foam squares, because foam squares can get weirdly expensive. And it's really nice because I can have larger foam squares and really thin foam strips if I need thin foam strips. So yeah, I like it. I'm gonna shift this a little bit. There. That's gonna fill the frame up a little bit nicer. So for the sentiment, for example, I can cut really small strips. I am gonna double them up. Actually, I'm gonna use this one for the bat. And I'll show you the other trick. If you want thicker foam tape, this is perfect. It's also even easier to do than the baking paper. Just fold your foam tape in half. So, do I have a roll of foam tape as well? Yes. So, just a roll of foam tape. The only thing you want for it to cut nicely is to have release paper on both sides. If you also want thicker foam tape, you can achieve both by just folding it in half like I did there. So, just trim that off. And now I have 2 layers of foam tape all at once. And I needed this to be thicker anyway for the sentiment. And I can just put that right where I need it, cut it as thick or as thin as I want it. It actually might need, yeah. I'm gonna add a 3rd layer of foam tape. The theme of this card is overkill, or this live. The theme of this live is overkill. And then I might as well some foam tape here as well, where it's going to overlap with the ghost or with the frame. Okay. That's pretty nice. I like it. I love the Beetlejuice colors, the glitter, the foil. I love it. Gonna get rid of this glue for a second. Clean my craft area, and then we're gonna move on to the second card. Now, the second card is really fun, in my opinion. And it's also a card that, or a card idea that I stole from a previous card that I made. But I loved it. It's one of my favorite cards I made. I should have pulled it up, pulled up a picture, but I forgot. But we're gonna put a little ghost in the drink because it's a spirit. It's a very punny life today. So the glass I'm using here, for those of you just joining, is from the Happy Hour collection. So this is sunset in a glass. We're not going to create the whole sunset, but it is really fun for a summery card. I really like that idea. I'm just going to use the glass here and the solid filling, solid drink, I don't know. Yeah. Also in the collection are these Halloween add-ons, which are so fun. We're gonna use the slime drops here, or the blood drops. I really like the hand holding the glass. You also have a martini glass, and that's the last one I'm gonna show you now, if I can find it. Did I put it somewhere else? Oh, here it is. It's a slightly smaller die set. So you have an espresso martini and just an olive martini. I don't know, some fun little add-ons. I like it. So the ghosts I'm using are from this background die set. Now, this is from A Pocket Full of Happiness. It is a A7 panel that it cuts out, so it doesn't actually fit in my storage, but okay. And I chose that little ghost. There are so many ghost dies that you can use here, but I knew I loved the style of these. They are actually creepy ghosts if you color them a little. So that's why I wanted to use this one. Okay, so let's get into it. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do for the background for this one. I think I'm gonna use another press plate, but we'll see. So we have the glass. I'm trying to see, I haven't actually used this die set yet. Okay, so the die doesn't actually fit inside. You have to glue it to the back of it, which is perfect. But that means I am going to add it between a couple of layers for the glass, because I have 3 layers cut out for the glass. I don't need them to all sit on top of that drink filling here. So, just figuring that out. We're gonna do some ink blending first. Well, we're gonna layer up the die cuts first, and then we're doing some ink blending. Oops. Cool. I also just use leftover packaging from die sets or stamp sets or whatever to cut out and layer behind some elements as well. I have just a whole box of thick white cardstock or reject cardstock that I use for layer die cutting. These are very frail, these die cuts. I also really like using a jewel picker tool to layer up your die cuts, especially if they're so thin like this one. It's nice. So the idea behind this green is that it's the ectoplasm of the ghosts. Not sure if there are any Ghostbusters fan in my audience, but this one's for you guys. Yeah. So I'm just going to layer that up here. Actually, while I'm working on this, why don't you decide which background I'm going to make for this? Or share your thoughts on it anyway. I have a couple options here. We have the Buffalo Plaid press plate. I could either press that in black, that would look pretty nice as a background for this glass, honestly. Or a purple would work, maybe. Not sure if I have a purple that would press nicely, but we can try. Or even foil it in purple. I do have nice purple foil. That would work. Or what was the other option? This background die from oh, hey Leslie. I hope to do more lives in the future because I love doing lives. The technology scared me, so I'm glad it's working out. So I'm definitely gonna do more in the future. I really, really love doing them. Anyway, so for the background for this card, we're making a glass, a drink of poison and ghosts, if you were curious, Leslie. So I'm gonna fill this glass with some ectoplasm and a little ghost, and we're deciding on the background right now. This is an option, the plate, the buffalo plate, either in black or foiled in purple is my preference actually. Or we could use this spiderweb texture die, so it will just leave like the texture of the spiderweb impressed in the cardstock, and then I'll probably do some ink blending around the edges to make it a little bit more dramatic, but yeah, that could be nice too. I think a pattern would look pretty good for this glass. Go for the buffalo. Yes, thank you. That's what I was thinking. So gonna layer this up. Purple foil. Awesome. I have a really nice satin purple foil. What's it called? Lavender petal or something? Or just petal? Not sure. But it's a really nice looking purple. The other purple I have is very pinkish, which isn't the Beetlejuice vibe I'm going for. Yes, the Plaid. Okay, cool. We're going for the Plaid. Hi, Lisa. I'm so happy people are watching. I really thought I would just be talking to myself for this first live, which I'm actually pretty good at. I did practice going live. So yesterday I spent I spent all afternoon just like pretending I was live, which was really fun and not at all weird. But you know, you have to be able to chat for an hour. And I'm usually a pretty quiet person. So, yeah. Oh, thanks, Els. You're sweet. I'm going to layer this one up as well before we do some ink blending. So I have, just to reiterate and share my thoughts on this, I have cut 2 additional layers to this glass outline because it's so frail and because I really like dimension. However, this has to fit somewhere in between it. So I'm thinking of layering up the silver and 1 white piece, then doing the poison, the filling of the drink. So there's still a nice bit of difference in dimension between those pieces. I like that. And then 1 additional layer at the bottom, just to even things out. So I'm going to layer 2 together before we start ink blending. And then I can still use the 3rd one later if I have to. We'll see if it's needed or not. How is the audio, by the way? Is it nice to listen to? Is it too loud? Is it not loud enough? I'm curious. Yes, I do know it's still in my tray. I am not adhering that down yet. Thanks for pointing it out. I'm not adhering that down yet because I want to do some shading, and I want to do separate shading on the bottom of the liquid and the rest of the liquid. It's going to define the 2 shapes a little bit more. So I always have a lot of little die cut hairs at the edge of my die cuts. So I always just rub my fingers over the edges and hope to get rid of most of them. That's what I'm doing when you see me being a little bit weird with the dies, with the die cuts. I always say dies when I mean die cuts. Okay, some more ink blending. Where did I put my little, oh, there it is. Great. Audio is good. Good. Very happy to hear that. Nope, is that what I need? Yeah. So we're back with the beautiful inks from Pinkfresh. I'll probably need something darker. Yes, and don't think I'll need it to be that dark. No, that'll be good. Okay, and some more for the ghosts as well. Where did I put, oh, there it is. So any supplies I'm using now that aren't in the description yet, I will add later on. So the specific ink colors I use and things like that. Gonna try to not shake the camera too badly. Where do I want the shading? It doesn't actually matter. So we're going to just add a little bit of shading here. If you're looking for a really pale green cardstock, this is a good one. This is Sprout from Concord and 9th. It's a good option. And then a little bit darker as well. Sprout is good, right? I don't use it that much for greenery. I feel like it's just a tiny bit too pale for that. But I love it for backgrounds. It's perfect for backgrounds. This ink blending is rough. I'm not doing a good job here. Oops. But I can smooth it out a little bit. And there's gonna be a ghost on top. So that's pretty good. I might add some bubbles. That would be fun. This is so frail. We're gonna avoid that for a second and move on to the top layer here. There we go. Mostly blended on my fingernails. Okay, so that should go there, right on top. That'll look nice. And then these, I am just gonna be careful with them. I don't feel like pulling out a sticky mat. It's also slime. How accurate does the blending need to be, really? This is not Sprout anymore, by the way. This is, what's it called? Key Lime from Gina K. It's the only Gina K cardstock I have. It is very, very sturdy. I love it. And it's also my favorite shade of green. It's very poisonous green. There we go. One more. I don't know if I'm actually going to use all of this slime because that's a lot of slime for one glass. But we'll see. We'll see what we end up using. There we go. Clean that up a little bit. This, by the way, is homemade stamp cleaner. It really is just water, dish soap, and glycerin. Don't ask me why they add glycerin, what that does that dish soap wouldn't. But I just followed a recipe from someone else. It's a lot cheaper than buying stamp cleaner over and over. We're gonna do the same blending, the same ink blending for this little ghost as we did for the other little ghosties from the previous card. This is Sea Glass from Concord and 9th. Being a little bit more careful with my ink blending. I hope the cam is less shaky. Okay, that is looking pretty good. let's put this glass together. Actually, I want this to be a little bit darker. It's not shaded enough for my liking. You could make it easier on yourself and use a smaller brush. I hate small blending brushes. I have never figured out how to work with them. I'm not gonna start now. Yeah, it's just not for me. Gonna put these blending brushes away for a second, otherwise they're gonna stain my desk. Okay, I'm not being all that messy today. I'm very proud of myself. Let's put this glass together. So I'm just going to put some glue on the back of this glass here. It doesn't reach all the way to the edges, which is nice, because then there's also no or much less risk of it poking out behind the glass. So that's good. I'm actually being very dumb right now. Before I adhere this down, this should be adhered on top, obviously. So just going to put some glue here, just along the bottom there, because I have to, yeah. Okay, sorry, I was thinking. Got a bit of glue overspill here, so I always scrape that away with a picky tool. There we go. This is looking pretty good. There's already glue on the back of this, so let's just put it down then. Let's hope I put it down correctly. There we go. Ooh, I like it. Then there's a ghost inside it. We can put some slime around the edges of the glass. It's made for a different glass, so it doesn't really work out perfectly, but I think it's still nice. I might add some slime to the bottom here. Not that that makes sense, but or just cut it up a little. Yeah, let's just cut it up a little. I really like the one at the edge, so I'm gonna glue that one down already, because we're happy with that one. There we go. Very spooky, very nice. And then just a few drops here. My small scissors. Let's trim this a little. Do you guys watch a lot of YouTube lives? Who's your favorite person to watch live? I really like, obviously, Jennifer McGuire, obviously. But I also really like to watch Amy from Prairie Paper and Ink, who's actually live right now, which was dumb on my part because I can't watch her live now. But yeah, I I really like her stuff. She makes a lot of Halloween cards as well. I like it. I might add a few bubbles to this glass. And the way I do my bubbles is with colored pencils. You know, I don't catch Gina live a lot. She does do like a really good job when she goes live, but I haven't seen it a ton. So to create some bubbles, I also need a white gel pen. How did I do this? It should be really easy. Oh, by the way, these colored pencils are unused because my mother stole my colored pencils and she used them so much she felt guilty, so she bought me a new box. So so the way I color my bubbles, I actually should be sharpening these because this is not sharp enough for tiny, tiny bubbles. Hang on. So bubbles are super easy to do with colored pencils on cardstock. All you need is a white gel pen and some colored pencils that are one that is very close to your colored cardstock. That's the pencil you're going to blend your color out with, and one significantly darker. So I'm gonna choose this. It's not entirely the shade, obviously. It's like a mid-tone, let's call it, and then a darker shade. Yeah, so shout out to my mom for buying me whole new pencils. Also, shout out to me for borrowing my pencils to my mom in the first place. Let's be real. Is my sister still watching? So, can you see this actually? Can I? No, zooming in was an issue. We're not gonna try to zoom in today. Zooming in is for a different session. So I'm just going to draw half a circle. Just a teeny tiny half a circle with your darkest shade. I'm gonna really, really darken that up. And drag the color out just a tiny bit to the inside of the bubble. Then I'm gonna take my mid-tone and I'm gonna blend it out a little bit. So I am going to soften the dramatic effect there. I am not gonna draw a full circle. And then I'm gonna take a fine gel pen. So the number 5 is my finest gel pen. And I'm going to complete the circle with sort of a dash line. So not a full line, some dots here and there. So that is one circle complete. To make it more of a bubble, I'm gonna add 2 dots in the bubble as well. It looks very much like a bubble when you're up close. I'm sure now it just looks like a stain to you. You'll see it in the pictures, I guess. At some point, I am going to figure out how to zoom in more effectively, because I have found a way, but it's very annoying and it's going to distract me, so I'm not going to do it now. So I'm gonna draw a couple of bubbles here. I'm not gonna take up too much of your time with my teeny tiny bubbles. I like to draw them in groups of 3 of varying sizes. So this last one is really, really tiny. Yeah, that's just what works for me. I like to do my embellishments the same way. I don't always stick to groups of 3 anymore. I like to use a group of 2 every now and again too. But varying sizes is really where it's at. With embellishments and with bubbles. It's much more interesting that way. So one more large bubble, and then I'm just going to draw a few little dots with white gel pen, maybe with a darker pencil. That's going to give the illusion that there are more bubbles that I didn't actually draw. So just a few here and there. And some more with pencil. Cool. Awesome. Gonna put these away now. That's all the coloring I'm doing today. We colored 6 whole bubbles. Okay. I'm gonna finish this ghost with some black cardstock. Actually, I'm gonna use a little bit of glitter cardstock, and I do have that set aside for exactly this purpose in my other little stacks. Oh, thanks, Els. I'm so happy you like it. Whoops, I hope that's wide enough. Does that cover it? Yes, I just have to trim the corners. Nice. So again, just going to glue it on the back of the little ghosty. Going to trace around the eyes and the mouth. I can't wait to see it, Els. Awesome. That's my little ghosty done. This is looking great. I'm very happy with this. Now all that's left to do is the plate. Am I going to foil it on white cardstock or on black cardstock? I don't know. Drink up, witches, or let yours, I mean, it's gotta be let your spirit shine, right? Don't know if I'm gonna use the black or the white cardstock. It was so clean a second ago and suddenly it's all a mess. I have to have my foil machine heating up actually. So let's put that here again. By the way, if you've just joined, this is the first card I made today. You can catch the replay once I'm done. Yeah, just here for the boozes. Perfect. I love that punny sentiment. What was I doing? Oh, right. Trying to decide if I'm gonna foil it on black or on white cardstock. I don't know. White. Ooh, purple on green with the green glass already. I'm gonna veto the green thought. It's risky. It might work out really well, but I'm not gonna do it today. It could be really cool. But I feel like I would need a different shade of green than this green. And I don't know if I have a good shade of green that would both work with this and with the purple. I don't think I do. So this is the purple, by the way. Actually, I don't think the glass is gonna look good on white cardstock. I think the silver cardstock is too pale. I think I'm gonna put it on black. I'm sorry. I know I asked your opinion and I'm now going completely against it, but I don't like the silver glass on white cardstock. So my Beetlejuice color scheme would work better with white though. Okay, I think I'm gonna use black. Sorry. So, do I have, no. I'm gonna trim some black cardstock then. Orange. It could work. I feel like that would make the background too busy and distract from the glass. You know? What about a dark gray? Let's see. Oops. I think I'm just gonna stick with black. Although the gray is tempting. It's gonna look very dramatic with black. I like it. We're gonna stick with black. Now where do I put this? Gonna cut this a little bit larger again. There we go. The Glimmer machine is heated up, so that's good. And then the foil. Just have to take a little bit off the side here as well. That way I can easily tape it down. And also tape my press plate down. Press plates and a lot of hot foil plates too are actually slightly larger than A2, so you don't have to get your placement exactly right. So it's a little bit forgiving. I like it. Do I need to tape it down in 4 places? Probably not. Is it gonna hurt anyone if I do? No. And I'm reusing tape too, so all I do is press the timer button. We're not gonna really listen to this because I like to heat up my press plates a little bit longer than my hot foil plates. Every Glimmer machine and every die cutting machine is a little different, so experiment with yours and what works with your supplies. Yeah, I think that purple is gonna look really good with this green. Very Beetlejuice. I hope the plate is gonna look good as well. I've been doing a lot of talking. I'm not used to talking that much. So the timer light has stopped blinking, which is nice. For a hot foil plate, this is where I would stop heating it up. I am gonna let it heat up just a little longer, just till I put my ink tubes away. And then I can roll this through my die cutting machine as well. I like to foil, I like to roll it through once and roll it back. I feel like that sometimes makes me overfoil it, but honestly, it's just handier if you also roll it back, because then it's back with you. Now when you're foiling, you do want to roll it through sort of slowly. Just be mindful of how you're rolling it through. Because it needs like a little bit of time to press on there. Let's see if this foiled well. because it's a pretty solid background and those can be tricky. But it's also a Halloween card, so it doesn't have to be perfect. But I think it's very cool. So there's a little bit of overfoiling with those stripy parts. I had sort of expected that because it's very detailed. They're very fine lines. But it's also, like, it doesn't matter that much, right? Oh, it's gonna look perfect. I'm very happy with this card. Okay. You could, again, save this and have another foiled background. I usually toss them out because I don't make that many of the same background, usually. I'm gonna take this plate and... Ooh. It's so hot. I want to leave it somewhere else to cool. The floor usually works. Thanks, Els. I'm very happy you like it. The color isn't showing up great on camera. It's much more purple than white. But, well, you get the gist. Now what I could do to make this even more extra is trim a slightly smaller size that would still fit the glass on there nicely, and have either a black glitter matting layer or a purple glitter matting layer. That would be fun. I think I'm gonna do that because clearly my Halloween cards need to be over the top. I might cut it at an angle here, can I? Or that might be too busy. That's gonna be too busy. We're not gonna do that. We're gonna cut it straight. Or well, as straight as I can get it. Purple glitter, okay. I'm very happy you're participating in this live, because clearly I struggle with making decisions. Oops. Now with foil, if you're gonna die cut and you use tape to tape your die cuts in place, always tape on the outside of the die because the tape is going to pull up your foil. Yeah. Okay, it's not that much smaller than A2 size, so whatever I choose for a matting layer isn't gonna show. Oh, it's okay. That's so cool though. I love this card. I love making Halloween cards. They're my favorite cards to make. I wish more companies did Halloween themed supplies. I would love some more Halloween stuff from like Concord 9th, for example. That would be awesome. I think a string would be really cool here as well, but I don't really have any string or twine. But I feel like it needs more here at the bottom. Actually, I had cut something for the other card, how about some skulls? I'm gonna put some skulls at the bottom. Yeah. Okay. So, gonna glue these together. I really know how to drag out alive. Ooh, spiders would be awesome, but I don't think I have any spider dies, which is wild. Yeah, I don't think I have spider dies. I also don't think I have many, like, individual spider webs. I have one, but it wouldn't really work for this card, I don't think. Especially not with that placement. I do have to add some ink blending to these skulls, because they're going... I know, I don't have spiders. I am terrified of spiders, though. I'm genuinely terrified of spiders. So how do I want to do this? Just a couple skulls chilling at the bottom of this drink. There's also... no. I don't know what else I could add here. I also don't want to spend more time die cutting. So I think this is gonna be it. Thinking if I have any sort of string that would work here, I am going to add some more of that glitter cardstock to the back of these skulls. Because why not? Ha! You were thinking the same thing. We should really craft together. Okay, this is gonna be so tiny. Okay. Oops, there's a little bit of glue overflow here in his little eye socket. Okay, cool. Whoops. There we go. I'm gonna see if I have any sort of twine, because I feel like it needs some. I normally don't add any twine. No. Maybe I should just add splatter. Maybe that's what's missing. When in doubt, just add splatter. So I'm gonna do that. Silver. We're gonna add silver splatter. Black with alcohol marker. Oh, the twine. That's not a bad idea. I should remember that I can just color my twine. I'm gonna not do the twine for now because I also just, There's a reason I never add twine. But yeah, that's such a good idea to just color your twine. Why did I never think of that? Splatter, splatter, splatter. I'm just going to add some silver to this. So this is just water, because before I started, I was thinking, oh, should I fill like a little jar with water just in case I want to add paint to something? And I was like, no, I'm not gonna add paint. Let's not take a space on my desk with a jar of water. And now obviously I'm gonna be adding paint. Obviously. Some splatter brush. There we go. So this is that Fine Tech paint. Depending on where you are in the world, you might find it at under the name Coloro. It's really good paint. You just need to work it for a little bit to make sure it's thick enough before you actually paint with it. So it takes a little bit for the paint to absorb the water, so you can mix it in. And once that's done, I am going to make sure I turn all my images around so I don't ruin them when I splatter all over my desk. That's a good point, actually. Let's not splatter all over my desk. I mean, it's still gonna go everywhere, but might as well minimize the damage somehow. That's what this card needed. Sometimes you just need splatter. That is going to take a while to dry, so I am going to use my heat tool, which I also should have set up before I started, because now I have to be, it's not ideal. We're gonna do the heat tool thing though. Now, I don't know if my camera or if my microphone is going to pick up all of that heat tool noise, so I'm gonna turn it off just to be sure, because I forgot to test it. I could have tested it and I forgot. Sorry. That's my bad. So bear with me for a second. And actually, before I do that, you decide if I'm adding the purple, because it's not a good purple match. I don't know if you can see, but this is definitely more blue purple than this one. If you want the purple glitter matting layer or the black glitter matting layer. But this one also isn't as glittery, so you pick. I don't have green, unfortunately. My actual choice would be green. So yeah, let's plug in the heat tool. Get this splatter heat set. Yeah, I'm gonna have to move the camera for a second. Sorry about the noise. Now let's not forget to turn the microphone back on. Hope it works, okay? So yeah, the panel got a little bit warped when I heat set it. It always does. It'll be fine. God, I love this card. Not to toot my own horn, but I just really like it. Actually, maybe I do have green glitter. Let's check. It might not be a good match, but I might have some. I have one sheet of green glitter cardstock. Is it a good green glitter? I don't know. I don't know if I like it. Where's my sentiment gone? Oh no, did I lose the sentiment? Oh, there it is. Okay. It's not a good green glitter, I don't think. I love how dramatic this card is too. I'm glad you do too. The purple. Not a huge fan. Not the right green. I'm glad you agree. We never have exactly the cardstock we need. It might be best on black, although it's also the most boring on black. think I'm gonna do the black. Now, when you want to add like specialty cardstock as a matting layer, and you're frugal like me, then I'm gonna share a little tip with you. I just put that on a very hot Glimmer machine. Bad me. So I am going to cut this to card panel size, so 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And I'm going to cut out the center. You can use a rectangle die if you want. I don't feel like putting this through my die cutting machine, honestly. So I am just going to cut into it. I do like to leave like plenty of space here, so I don't accidentally cut into the part that you'll see on this card, because that would be a waste of this card panel then. But yeah, this is specialty cardstock, so I am being frugal with it. I always am. I'm glad you do that too. That way I don't look like a weirdo. But I know a lot of people do this. Because why would you waste so much cardstock? Especially your nice glitter cardstock or your metallics. It's such a waste. So, okay. So I can still use this. Let's put this on a card base. There we go. I lost my glue. Oh, there it is. This is fun. I miss doing lives. I just really did not like doing them on Instagram, because Instagram lives are fine if you're just talking to people. But the chat covers up half of the video, so it's not great if you want to show people how you're crafting. So yeah, I'm very happy I found a way to do YouTube lives. I'm hoping to do them a lot more often. Now to prop this panel up, I'm not going to use foam tape, I'm going to do paper. So let's take some cardstock. Why do I keep putting my trimmer away when I'm using it that much? Let's check how wide this card panel is. About 3 3/4 by 5. So I will cut my paper slightly smaller. So I will cut it at 3 5/8. And then 4 7/8. And I will cut 2, definitely 2, maybe 3 panels of this. No, the glass is already thick. We're gonna be conservative. So I'm just gonna glue these together. If you have some cardboard, especially corrugated cardboard, so the cardboard where you can see inside is like those, I don't know what they're called, wrinkles. That would be a great lightweight option to add a ton of dimension. I used to have a whole stash of cardboard panels just for card making, and then I moved and I threw them away. Yeah, I'm gonna add more because of course I am. I, as many people, went to the school of Laura Besson, and dimension is life. So we're gonna add a little bit more. This is gonna be heavy card. Okay. Now, usually I would put this panel, because it's quite warped, underneath something heavy for a couple hours or like overnight, just to make sure it straightens out before I put it on my card. But for the sake of the live, we're gonna roll with it as it is. I think I'll get it straightened out just by gluing it onto this heavy background, but we'll see. Nice. The added dimension is also going to set it apart a little bit more from that black matting layer, because the only thing I don't really love, this is why I wanted a green matting layer, there's not enough contrast between the matting layer and the card panel. So this is going to set that apart a little bit more with that added dimension. There we go. Oh, that ghost wasn't glued down yet. No worries. Going to add some foam tape to this. Here's my trusty foam tape on baking paper again. Whoops. I eyeballed that really badly. Okay. And then teeny tiny slivers for the base of the glass as well. They're not teeny tiny enough. That was teeny tiny enough. Awesome. We're almost done. I'm so happy I went live today. I messaged a couple friends saying I was scared. Because I was. Not of like doing the live, just the technology side of it. I'm really not good at troubleshooting something on the fly. Like, I'm good at researching something if something goes wrong, but when you're live, you don't have time to research. So yeah, I was a little bit hesitant to go live for the first time. Some foam tape on this little ghosty as well. I might, after this is done, I might add some like embellishments to these cards, because I don't think I've made a card in the last year or two where I didn't add embellishments. So I might do that. But otherwise these cards are pretty much finished. Do I still need this? Yeah, I do want the skulls. Oh, I was gonna add ink blending to these, right? Ah, well. Some thicker foam tape here for this teeny tiny skull. I'm so happy you were here, Els. And everyone else who watched as well. It definitely helped to have a friend in the chat. Thank you. There we go. The sentiment also needs foam tape. Of course it does. Yeah. Oh, I'm so happy you liked it. I never know if people actually enjoy lives. I feel like when Jennifer first started doing them, she got a lot of people messaging her, well, I hope you don't switch to lives like everyone else is doing. I don't think that many people are doing lives for card making. I might be wrong on that. But I know at first she had a little bit of backlash is a very strong word for it. But yeah, people complaining that she was doing lives instead of regular videos. Luckily, I'm not popular enough to get negative comments, so I'm not worried about that, but I hope people still enjoy lives. Yeah. Is that on straight? Straight enough. It's a Halloween card. I feel like that was the motto of this episode. It's a Halloween card. It's straight enough. Let's get all of this junk gone. Most of that went on the floor, but you can see that. So somewhere in this mess is the first card I made. Okay, cool. Got it. So these are the 2 cards I made today, and I'm so happy with them. I am going to finish that 3rd card at some point, and I'll post a picture of that as well. Oh, thank you, Judy. I'm so happy you like it. I love these cards. I am so happy with them. I haven't done a whole lot of Halloween card making yet this year. even though they're my favorite cards to make. So yeah, I'm really happy that I got to take some time today. And I'm very happy you were here with me, because again, I love doing lives. I'm definitely going to do more lives in the future. There is no way I can set aside one particular night every week to go live, but I'll definitely do them quite regularly. Yes, I hope you watch the replay. These ghosts were so fun. I really like making Halloween cards, especially with the cute little Spellbinders products. Thank you so much for watching. I had so much fun with you guys here, and I hope you will watch the replay if you didn't catch everything. And maybe I'll film a video as well of that third card, although I don't think so, because I left that card for last on purpose, because it's going to be very much the way the die set is intended to be used, so I can't really do anything new on camera, or like teach you anything new. So I might just make it off camera and share the pictures on Instagram later. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll definitely do this again, hopefully soon, but I will let you know. I will definitely, if I plan another live, I will share it on Instagram, so you can you can find it in my stories there. And I will also, if you hit notifications here, you should also be notified every time I schedule another live on YouTube as well. So yes, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time. And now I hope I can find the button to end this stream. Bye.